Welcome back to Gatekeeper Media's New Year's resolutions. It's January 23rd, and today we're going to talk about clean releases with forehands. A few days ago, we focused on backhand clean releases, and I think a lot of those same principles apply to forehands. The difference is, fewer players are using that as their primary throw. So this is a great way to build your skill set and advance your knowledge. Among pro players, I see three main forehand grips. The most common is with both fingers stacked together. In this one, both the middle and index finger have the finger pad on the bottom of the flight plate, with the side of the middle finger pressed up against the inside of the rim. The thumb is rotated so that it's kind of in line with the index finger and giving a lot of pressure. Also common is the same setup except with the index finger to the middle of the flight plate. I think that's good for people who come from a baseball background because it's more like a pitch grip. Additionally, Nate Sexton, Dylan Horst, and several other very good forehand players put the finger pads of their index and middle finger on the rim, so those are more rotated. I find that this gives me trouble with nose angle, but you need to try out and see what works for you and is comfortable. The commonality between all of these grips is that the index finger and thumb webbing is providing a lot of contact. And that keeps the disc in the same orientation throughout your reach back and throw and allows a consistent release. There's three things that I'm going to focus on in a forehand session. The first is getting a consistent, clean reach back. This is something Chris Dickerson does really well, where he keeps his palm up and his forearm and wrist in the same orientation throughout his throw. This allows the elbow to lead everything and lets the wrist come through at the end. The second thing that I'm focusing on in field work with forehands is not overpowering the disc. A standstill or a one-step delivery is sufficient. Players who try to accelerate too much end up losing consistency. So let's build to that point where we can throw at full speed. The third thing is being very aware of what the disc is doing in the first, say, 20 feet out of your hand. Don't worry about the finish, don't worry about the rest of the flight. Try to focus on what it looks and feels like at the release and try to really focus on being clean with that. I'm going to throw a few undertakers and thrashers. These are neutral flying discs that aren't fast or overstable enough to just fight out of any wobble that I put on it. Focus on the reach back, being slow, and a clean release. A drill that you can do even when you're not on the course, just at home in your garage or driveway or something, is to throw to yourself. So get in the right forehand grip and focus on just kind of popping your wrist. Throw it up and catch it. The cleaner the release, the more you know that you're doing it right. If looking up and doing that isn't comfortable, try lying down and doing the same thing. When I can throw and catch with no wobble, that's going to translate to on-course success. You win the game when you're aware of what the disc is doing, what your body is doing to the disc, and you can focus on those 3 points. If this isn't exciting enough for you, then you can add starting, finishing, and intermediate points to aim at, like we talked about previously.